last week before Christmas. We need to be finishing off our idea generation. Last week we really tried to cement our ideas down about protection, comfort or cheerfulness. The week before that we'd got our context and our trends tidied up. And then last week we all had one-to-ones where we had a chat about your ideas and the direction you were taking them in, and you started to put those down into a lotus, something like this, where you were starting to put down ideas about your next steps, about primary research you needed to do, about ideas that you need to explore visually, so by sketching or by doing some colour matching or by putting together a mood board. And so we need to have all of these things visually explored this week. So we've prepared our ideas, we've figured out the direction we're taking, we now need to take it in preparation for the next steps. So I've done a recap here of the things that we need to be doing. These are in blue. This is the idea generation section. This is all for P3. So if you have a look in the bottom box, P3 says that we need to demonstrate that we've explored and interpreted design trends and contextual influences in response to a brief. Our brief is protection, comfort or cheerfulness. We've figured out what our design trend and our contextual influence is. We now need to interpret them. That's the keyword that I've just highlighted. And to interpret them, we need to engage with them. We need to play around with the ideas that we've had. We need to see what they'll look like. And so these, I've put a list here of these bullet points of things that might look like. So notes and sketches, we've got contextual links and how we're going to use them, primary sources, we might try out some textiles that we might want to interpret or play around with in our design ideas. We'll have some secondary sources, but it's mostly about you creating your own ideas. We might put all of our work together in a mood board to summarise our idea. But we also, most importantly, need to be using all of the design skills that we learned from September until half term. So that was things like when we had the mini mannequins and we draped on the stand, or when we had an image and we had to take shapes and ideas from it to create designs. All of those things were there for a reason, to get you visually exploring your ideas, and that's what we need to be doing today. We need to do all of this so that when we get back from Christmas, we can start the design development, which is in orange on the slide. And this is for P4, and that is that we have to go through that design development process to come up with a final idea. And so that's where we take our basic garment silhouette as a technical drawing and we produce that army of designs where we refine tiny tweaks on each one. And then we go through the stages of playing around with media and illustrating our final idea. When we get back from Christmas, I'm going to do a recap on design development and the process, and then a few weeks in, I'm going to do a recap on what we need to see for illustrations and final designs. So don't worry about the designs for now. We need to make sure that we've got the ideas ready so that we can use those in our designs and we've got something visual to work from. So you need to spend today producing those visuals. And I've done a slide here as an example of the kind of things that we might be thinking of. There's a link there to the Pinterest account which has got loads of really great visual idea generation and design starting points on it. But I've got here some examples, things like when we've draped on the stand and picked out shapes, or when you've taken that shape and then started to do sketches and ideas about how they could look as a design. Taking a secondary source or primary source, even better, primary source image, and taking details from it. So here there's a section of girls in swimming costumes, and they've taken some of the stripe details and started to play around with how those stripes might look as a different kind of garment. And then on the end we've got a mood board, so textures, patterns, fabrics, images, styles, the thing that summarises the atmosphere that you're going to be trying to create. So we need to be doing some of these visuals today so that we can start to explore them in our design after Christmas. So I'm going to put this PowerPoint on Moodle so that you can have a look through it without me talking over the top of it. And I'm also going to post it in our Teams session today so that you can have a chat with me about anything that you're not sure about. I can answer any questions and hopefully you can show me some of the work that you're going to be doing. Okie doke.